Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the REDX Podcast. I am with one of our favorite guests, of course, Andy Rosas. Welcome back, Andy.
Hey, Haley, how are you doing?
We
Awesome
are
to be
doing
back.
so good. So glad to have you back on the podcast. Of course, you always bring it. And
Let's
I'm
go.
excited to dive into really how to help people have better conversion rates if they're prospecting, have better
Yep.
quality conversations when they're talking
Yes.
to people.
Come on.
And you were talking to me a little bit pre-show about how people can make the calls, but that doesn't mean they really made a call, right? Just talk to me about that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Haley, thank you so much, by the way. Totally blessed to be here, and what a blessing it is, right? To do what we do, to be able to serve agents the best they can, to help them become not just top producers, but be living a life of integrity, right? Something they're proud of, to help them serve their clients and eventually leave legacy behind. So super honored to be here. So I love it. So yeah, agents are having conversations, Haley, but they're not having conversations. They're not. I hear this a lot out there where agents are saying, man, I'm calling people, having conversations. It just doesn't work. Well, two things are going on, right? Two things are happening there. All right. So number one, the expectation. First of all, how many calls did you make? How many conversations did you have? Okay. And of those conversations you had, how many led to an appointment? We call this knowing your numbers, your KPIs, right? Your key performance indicators, just a fancy thing to, do you know what you have to do to make money? How many calls you have to do? And by the way, a quick rule of thumb is, if you want to make six figures in this business, guys, it's a simple thing. You got to have about 300 conversations a month. You have to talk to 300 people a month. That's like, let's just put that out there as a simple math. Don't get a calculator out. Don't overcomplicate it. 300 conversations a month. Whether that's 1,000 phone calls, 10,000 phone calls, 300 phone calls, that all depends on you. And obviously, that's why we love you guys, Haley, because you guys got the tools to make those conversations happen a lot faster. And by the way, I just started using the triple line dialer about a month ago. I know. You would think I've been using it already, right? People are like, what? But I've been using the power line dialer, which was cool. 100 calls in an hour. Got you. And Mike has been, Mike, the other habit guy, has been telling me, Andy, you got to use this triple line dialer, bro. This thing is amazing. But I think like other agents, I just get scared of the, oh my God, like that sounds like a lot. Like,
yeah.
Like
prospecting on steroids,
Yes. Because even me, guys, a prospecting coach, this is what I do. Those limiting beliefs, like, oh, the technology, that sounds like a pain in the butt. I was like, no, I get it. Okay. Obviously, this is why I love doing what I do, because you got to get uncomfortable. And I started doing it maybe about, 60 days ago, 45 days ago. Oh, prospecting on steroids, Haley. So true. Now I'm making double, triple the calls, 200, 300 calls in an hour, which is great. Because a lot of people don't pick up, guys. That's the expectations. A lot of people don't pick up. Over 70% of the people, stats have shown, don't pick up the phone. So if you're listening to this, have the expectation that, first of all, prospecting will be boring at times, the majority of the time. It's okay. That's why we have to teach you how to deal with boredom. That's why we teach habits, right? And you're going to get a lot of no's. It's okay. This is part of the process. So your expectation has to be there, knowing you're going to have 300 conversations a month. Do that for a year, and if it doesn't work, I'll give you a guarantee. I'll give you your money back. That's it. That's what I tell people. Whatever you spend on whatever you bought, honestly, I'll pay for it. Just text me. Show me you had 300 conversations a month for a year, and you're telling me it doesn't work. So that's the first thing, Haley, about you're making calls, but are you making calls? First thing is the expectation. All right.
I love that.
The second thing, and we're going to go rapid fire, Haley, because you know what? We're bringing value on this now. You're a mom now, right? Congratulations, Haley. Give it up. Give it up for Haley, who's a brand new mom. She's glowing. If you're listening to this and can't see her face, she is glowing right now. So we're rapid fire. Let's go. Come on. We got things to do. We want to give you value quick, guys. So first thing is expectation. Expectation. Second thing is, how is the quality of your conversations? You can say you're prospecting, but you sound too friendly on the phone. That's a big thing. A lot of these agents are like, hey, how are you? Good. How's everything? All right. Hey, I'm calling. Oh my gosh, like, what
Yeah.
are you doing? Stop. That smells like sales. That may work for some people and all that, guys. Listen, it doesn't work for everybody. But if you want to get to it, guys, listen, we run the numbers. We're the science guys. We're here to get the fastest amount of production possible. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we do here at the lab with the science guys, with habits. We look at what the data shows. So we take the best scripts out there. We grab other coaching programs, right? And we use them ourselves, and then we mix them together. We sprinkle behavioral science in it, okay? Because I don't want agents with 20 different scripts and you're using one of this, one of that, you're mixing it on your own and you're trying to figure it out on your own. It's like people who try to learn how to play golf on their own. It doesn't work. You got to get professional help to know what works, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So having the right conversation is, and what I mean, hey, here's an example. You call somebody and you do, hey, how are you? I'm doing great. Oh, doing great. You doing good? Yeah, good weekend. My gosh, stop. For cold calling, walls are going up. They're going to think you're a pushover. They're going to think you're fake because, Haley, when people cold call you and they just rattle things off in questions, like they ask you, how are you doing? Do you think they really care how you're doing, Haley?
I'm like, what's the purpose of this call? Why are you taking time out of my day? What's going on?
Right? I get a little annoyed. I don't know if it's just me. Do you know?
No, I
get
agree.
annoyed.
I agree.
I get annoyed. I'm like, bro, what do you want? When I'm on my mind, what do you want, dude? You know? Because I love sales. I love being sold. And salespeople, I love to be sold, but get to it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So a great way to, and you don't want to sound like other salespeople. The moment you use language like another salesperson, you're going to be associated with the salesperson.
Yep.
Or if you're too nice, you're going to be associated with grandma who bakes cookies. No offense to grandma. Grandma had a ruthless right hand and would hit us like you wouldn't believe. She was ruthless. But that's a different conversation. Now, but you remember, you're auditioning for the part to do business with them
Mm-hmm.
and represent them for a lot of money, right? So if you cannot sound professional on the phone from the beginning and know how to control the conversation in their eyes, especially for sell by owners, especially for sell by owners, right? Because you get a lot of investors and all that kind of folks, and they have a different kind of altitude on how they think about themselves, right? And so if you can't speak and you're too friendly with them, they're just going to be like, why would I hire you to represent me? Imagine you trying to negotiate $1 million off my property or whatever, and you sound like that, right? That's what people think. Guys, another thing, your voicemails. Fix your voicemails. Some of these voicemails that I hear that you guys have, you guys sound so weak, so unorganized. There's like loud music in the background. You can't even figure out the pause button and you sound outdated. Stop. Yeah, I'm just ranting out right now. But that's the interpretation of what people believe about you. And when I call real estate agents and I listen to their voicemails, I go, oh, this person's Mickey Mouse. They don't have the life. These are assumptions. I'm not saying it's true, but you're dealing with split-second assessments and assumptions. And when you're cold calling, you don't have much time. You have a couple of seconds. So a tip I give people, which is one of the best of the best of the best, this is what we use out there. Opening question is, hey, how you doing? My name is Andy. I'm a local real estate agent. I know you weren't expecting my call, okay? But do you mind if I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Right? That's it. Boom. And you give them a way out, right? There's other coaching programs that are using it and they're crushing it with it. When I heard this, I was like, man, this is fantastic too. Absolutely. Guys, don't reinvent the wheel. Someone's already using amazing scripts out there. And by the way, at the end of this episode, we're going to give you access to these scripts because we use them as well. And we sprinkled habits all over it so you can actually use them. This question here, Haley, from the beginning gives them a way out. That question right there, do you mind if I ask you a quick question? And when people feel like they have a way out in a conversation, they feel like they have control. When they feel like they have control, they let their guard down. They don't feel like you're running right through them. I used to prospect by vomiting information because I have a high cadence and velocity of volume, so I can squeeze in a lot more words and I can bulldoze through people and I can get
Yeah.
there. I'm not saying it's the best way. It worked for me, but my closing percentages increased quite a bit, over 30%, when I started asking more
Mm.
questions on my calls. Because my coach coached me. Yes, coaches have coaches. Isn't that something, right? My coach last year told me, Andy, you talk too much. You need to ask more questions. And I'm like, wow. And that shifted everything to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. And that's when we started asking more questions on the call, but not like, hey, is your property still on the market questions? No, I'm talking about questions like that. Do you mind if I ask you a quick question? Right
Yeah.
from the beginning. And then as soon as, now, by the way, this is great because as soon as they say, imagine they say no to you. Awesome. Because it's scary. Agents like, but what if they say no? Guess what? Good. You say, God bless you. Have a great day. Click, and you click the dialer and you move on. That's
Mm.
what I love about the dialer, Haley, because the dialer doesn't have emotions, doesn't have a brain, doesn't care. You just click it and
Move
it
on.
calls the next person. It just moves on. It's the most beautiful thing ever. I love it.
Yep.
And remember, you don't want to have conversations with people who don't want to talk to you. And a lot of these agents are prospecting and having conversations with people that they shouldn't be talking to. That's another reason why they're failing to hit their numbers, because they're talking to people, but the wrong people. And the people they're talking to, they're also having the wrong conversations with them. So,
Would you count that as a conversation if they said no?
no, not really. No, that's not
So
a
you have to
conversation.
actually like be going back and forth to count that towards a conversation.
Yeah, they have to say after they say yes, I would say that becomes a conversation.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, someone that raised their hand that said, you know what, I'll listen to you.
Success in real estate is directly correlated with how many conversations you have. The more conversations and connections you have with the right people, the more deals you'll close. This is why REDX offers specialized communication tools like our Power Dialer to help you have more conversations in less time. The Power Dialer is a powerful software that automatically dials approved lists of phone numbers so you can avoid the hassle of tediously dialing by hand. And with features like call recording, voicemail drop, time zone protection, and spam call monitoring and remediation, you can save time, earn more money, and stay focused while you prospect. Plus, with REDX's superior data quality, you can dial more than 80 leads per hour to connect with twice as many homeowners in half the time, giving you as many opportunities to connect with transaction-ready homeowners as possible. Starting at just $59.99 a month, you can dramatically increase the amount of conversations you have. Go to redx.com to learn more.
Put yourself in the shoes of an agent who's prospecting that's nervous. As soon as the person says yes, you can ask me a question. How do you immediately feel as an agent? Do you feel better that they said yes?
Yeah, like, oh, they want to keep listening to me? Okay.
Right? You're like, oh,
Or maybe I feel a little
oh,
nervous, like, oh, okay, here we go. Let's get into this.
yeah. But yeah, you're still going to be nervous. But
Yeah.
now the control of the call now, it's like we are on the same playing field. Because when when I ask you that question, bro, I got things to do too, Mr. Fizbo, Mrs. Fizbo, Mr. and Mrs. Expired, Mr. and Mrs. GeoLead, Mr. and Mrs. Furbo, right? I have things to do too. Do you mind if I ask you a quick question? No? Have a great day. Peace. Call the next one. And you also save your mental energy. I don't want to get into the science of it. Don't want to bore you. We've done the research for over 10 years. Your brain has a limit of how much it can take of this. So you conserve your gas for that. It's like prospecting gas. It conserves it. And that negative thought patterns now, it's like, good. You get rid of it. Boom. Because those negative people, if from the beginning they say no to you, it gets them through. Oh, and by the way, this helps you with the do not call list. Of course, you always want to make sure you abide by your state laws and your broker. I don't want to send the wrong message, but if you're calling the do not call list, this script that we're going to give you, don't worry, we're going to give it to you guys, right? Helps you with the do not call list, because the do not call list, they actually love this script. Why? Because someone that doesn't want to be called, if you ask them a question from the beginning to get out, guess what they're going to say? They're going to say no. Cool. Peace. You didn't piss them off. Bye. You piss them off when you have a bad script. You piss them off when you talk too much. You piss them off when you're just going right down their throat. That's when you upset them, and that's when you have a really bad experience as well. So there's so many dynamics, and that's just the opening line, Haley. I haven't even gone into the second question, leaning in, leaning out, right? All these different strategies, tonality, pausing, sounding confused on purpose. There's all these little things you must learn to do to control, to pace, to get information out without sounding salesy, right? And without being too friendly either. This is called sales, guys. In the moment, and everyone listening to this, guys, the faster you realize you're a salesperson, the faster you're going to be successful in this business. A lot of agents think they're not salespeople, and that's a problem. If you don't want to do sales, don't do this business. And if you don't want to do sales, it kind of means that you don't truly believe in yourself and in the product you're servicing. Because I say the same thing at church. If you don't believe what you're talking about, that's what stops you from talking to people about it. But if you truly believe about what you're talking about, if you love a restaurant, don't you talk about it?
Yeah.
If you love Taco Tuesdays, don't you recommend that taco spot to all your buddies? Oh my gosh, you won't believe these tacos I had. Oh my gosh. But if the tacos suck, you won't talk about those tacos. You'll be like, I'm not even going to mention it, right? So yeah, I rattled off there, Haley, but that was a lot there. A lot of hype, motivation, and actually tips to actually get the agent in the lane of expectation as to what it takes number-wise, and to start opening up their mind that being yourself on the phone is not enough. You have to have the right framework to get in and out. And you have to see, is your script serving you? Because if you're using the script and you're not hitting your KPIs, your numbers, you're going to have to see, is it working or not? That's why we test our scripts. Throughout the year, we change them all, not change them all the time, but we're always looking to see, because there's more discoveries on language and persuasion, right? And the art of negotiating, all these books that come out, and science and words to use and what to say, and pattern interrupters and all these, which we embedded into our scripts, right? To do for you. So yeah.
I love it. That was, we want to do a quick episode so you can get something and digest it really quickly. And we're not talking about you can have conversations and be successful. And if you're prospecting, you'll still get listings, but everything that Andy's talking about is just to have more conversions, right? To get more conversions that are come to my house and set more appointments and stuff like that. So just want to highlight there. Andy, where can people find your scripts?
Well, I'll let you know right now. And here's another thing. When you speak this way, it also helps you call your sphere of influence. Because a big reason why a lot of agents don't get their friends and family is because they still talk to them as, Haley Johnson, your buddy from high school. I'm still your girl. Like, yeah, that's great. Andy Rosas from Sunset High School. Go, nice. But if you still talk like that, Andy, they're going to put you in that Andy bucket. They're not going to put you in that realtor professional bucket. That's actually going to help them out in their business. So having a script will serve you. Because people say, I don't want to use a script and all that. Well, being yourself is going to kill you, because then people love you, but they don't send you business.
Right.
That's the problem with that too. So I'll help you out with that. So yeah, they can get these scripts, which we've updated actually recently this year. It's go to habitguys.com/free. habitguys.com/free, and you'll get all of our brand new scripts for the year, and you're locked and loaded. Let's go.
Amazing. Awesome. Okay, we'll have that linked below. Everybody, thanks for tuning in to this quick podcast. We're excited that you showed up. I hope that you take Andy's advice and also go check out his scripts to really increase your conversions for your prospecting. Thanks again, Andy, and we'll see everybody same time, same place next time. See you later.
Awesome.